Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a bit different, as you can probably tell by the title. I'm someone that likes to look at the sales a lot, and if I think something looks like a good deal and interesting, I'll usually get it. I think it's another hobby at this point. If the art catches my eye or it's a type of puzzle I enjoy, it's usually in my basket. I'm not looking for anything specific, I'm just looking, so that means I'm open to anything. Anyway, I have a lot of games, so don't be surprised if you find more of these videos from me. Now, let's talk about the first game on my list, Agatha Knife. It's classed as a point-and-click adventure and puzzle game. The rarity on PSN profiles is 62.31%, which is low considering how easy it was. Less than 1,000 people own this game on PSN profiles, which is pretty sad considering how genuinely funny and creative this game is. There isn't a trophy guide on PSNP, but I would say it's a 1 out of 10 difficulty and it takes about 5 hours. You do have to play through the game twice, which isn't too bad. Once you've done it once, you'll know how to run through it again quickly the second time. There is only a PS4 version of this game. I wasn't sure what to expect when I started this game. It did surprise me in a good way though. I'm not sure how they came up with this story because it's just wacky. You play as a 7-year-old that lives and works in a butcher's shop. That's all I really want to say about the story because it just needs to be experienced. There are a few trophies that you can miss. Even though PSN Profiles doesn't have a guide, there are other websites that will explain how to get the trophies. But the descriptions are fairly self-explanatory, which helps a lot. If you enjoy slower-paced games, puzzles, and text adventures, then I recommend this one. Even if it's not your usual type of game, I still think it's worth a try. The second game on my list is Mail Time. I remember seeing this game on Instagram ages ago and thinking, oh, that looks so cute, so I kept checking the store to see if it was available on PlayStation. And one day, it was there. On PSN profiles, the rarity is 64.47%, and under 400 people own this game on PSNP. There isn't a guide on PSN profiles for this one either, so I'd say it was a 1 out of 10 that takes about 2 hours. There is a PS4 and PS5 version of this game, however, they are sold separately, which I think is a scam, so I will not pay for it twice. It's classed as a platformer and adventure, but I would say it's a simulator too because you are a mail delivering apprentice. You are tasked with delivering mail to one specific person, however, you can't find them, so you ask people in the village where this person is, but you end up doing little tasks for them. It's not action-packed, it's not a crazy story, it's just a nice cozy game that is just easy and chilled out to play. Personally, I like having these games that I can play in between longer games because it's very easy to get burnt out, especially if you're playing a very grindy game. The trophies are thankfully straightforward and you shouldn't really miss anything. There are a few collectible trophies and some for using your glider for a certain amount of time. The rest are related to quests you do. This is another slower paced game and probably isn't for everyone, but I personally really like the art style and any form of cozy game I'm always interested in. The third game on my list is Toy Box Puzzle. When I was younger, I played a lot of Professor Layton games. Some of the puzzles in the Professor Layton games were similar to the puzzles in this game. As soon as I saw it in the shop, I thought of Professor Layton. I guess part of why I like this game is a sense of nostalgia. There isn't a guide for this on PSN profiles either. It took me 4 hours because I did get stuck on quite a few levels, so you could probably do it faster than that. I wouldn't say it's more than a 1 out of 10 difficulty either. There is only a PS5 version of this game. It has around 130 levels, which you will need to complete to get the platinum. There are only 81 game owners on PSNP, and the rarity is 62.96%, which again is pretty low for how easy it is. There are quite a lot of gold trophies which I personally don't like, but it's not the end of the world. I do like having games like these to play on my PlayStation Portal because when I'm playing on it in bed, I don't need to be in a shootout or a battle, I just want to chill. I'm sure it's probably good for the brain to do puzzles, but I'll let you guys know if I ever see any improvements. The fourth game on my list is Omno. This game is classed as a platformer, puzzle, and adventure game. I'm not 100% sure what the story is about, but you basically have to complete each level in order to progress to the next one. This one actually does have a guide on PSN Profiles. It's a 2 out of 10 difficulty and the time estimate is 4 hours. It did take me just over 4 hours, so I would say it's pretty accurate. And I wasn't rushing. Probably should be a 1 out of 10, however, I don't disagree because there was one jumping section I was stuck on for at least 20 minutes. There is only one missable, but if you just make sure each level is 100% complete, then you should be fine. There are over 20,000 game owners on PSNP, and the rarity is 70.4%, which is lower than I was expecting when I started writing the script for this video. There's only a PS4 version of this game. I'm not the biggest fan of platformer games because I'm generally very bad at them, but I still decided to try this game. There were a few sections that I struggled on, like I mentioned earlier, but overall it's not difficult, so don't let the platformer part put you off. It's fun and easy, so why not try it? The fifth game on my list is Fresh Start. It's classed as a simulator and adventure game. This one doesn't have a guide on PSN Profiles either. It took me around 10 hours, and I would give it a 1 out of 10. It's only on PS5, and the rarity is 60.26%, with just over 600 owners on PSNP. I'm a huge Power Wash Simulator fan, so anytime I see anything remotely similar, I will play. It's a pretty cool idea having the levels full of dirt piles and dead plants where you have to clean it up, water the plants, and fix random things. If you don't really enjoy games like Power Wash Simulator, then you probably won't enjoy this one. The trophies are pretty straightforward, but some of them are kind of random where you need to find specific hidden things in a few of the levels. You can replay all of the levels, so you don't need to worry about missing anything. I'm hoping we will get some more games similar to this and Power Wash Simulator, because for some reason they really are addictive to me. If you're looking for something easy and laid back, then this is a good choice. The sixth game on my list is Paper.io 2. Now you're probably going to say, well, this is a mobile game. And I would say yes, it is. I remember downloading the game on my phone and thinking, this is fun. But as with all mobile games, you have to deal with the ad pop-ups. When I saw this in the PlayStation Store for like 70p, I thought, you know what, I might as well get it, so I did. There is only a PS4 version of this game, and there is no guide for this one either on PSN Profiles. Not really sure what the time estimate is supposed to be, but it took me 10 hours. I would probably give it a 1 out of 10 difficulty. Some of the trophies can be annoying, but the more you play, the better your power-ups get, so in the end, none of the trophies are very difficult. The rarity is 37.97%, which is very low, and I did think it was over 50, but somehow isn't. There are just over 500 people that own the game on PSNP. While the game is pretty fun, it does kinda overstay its welcome when you're trying to get the platinum. You need to buy all the upgrades, which takes a lot of coins, so you do have to grind for a bit to get there. I didn't hate it though. I still thought it was a fun game to play when you're not sure what else you want to play. It's easy to jump in and out of. So if it's a type of game you think you'd enjoy, or if you just want an easy platinum, you should try it. The seventh game on my list is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. This game does have a trophy guide on PSN Profiles, and it's a 3 out of 10 difficulty and an estimated time of 4 hours. It took me 3 hours, so the estimate is pretty accurate. It's classed as a puzzle, RPG, and adventure game. It has a rarity of 84.9%, and there are just over 1,500 game owners on PSNP. There's only a PS4 version of this game. I'm surprised the rarity is so high for the amount of game owners, but the game is actually very good, so I probably shouldn't be that surprised. The art originally drew my eye to this game, which is usually the case for most of the games I buy. I wasn't sure what to expect when I started playing, but as soon as you start the game, it's clear it's going to be a good time. The trophies are all fairly straightforward, and the descriptions explain what you need to do. And if you have trouble with any of the hats you need, you can always just look at a guide. I know some people can be put off when games have a rarity in the 80s or higher, But in this case, you probably should just ignore that and play it because it's just a fun little game. Some of the boss fights can be quite challenging, at least for me anyway. It's definitely worth a try. The 8th game on my list is Bee Simulator. This game does have a trophy guide on PSN profiles. It's a 2 out of 10 difficulty and a time estimate of 15 hours. It took me over 11 hours, so I would say the estimate is fairly accurate. There is only a PS4 version of this game. It's a 15.63 rarity and has over 32,000 game owners on PSNP. As you can tell by the name, it is a simulator, which probably puts people off. Who would want to play a game as a bee? Me for sure. I've already said I love simulators, so obviously I had to play this game. I've actually gotten the platinum for this game twice, and both times were pretty fun. There are a lot of mini-games and missions you can do alongside the story. There are 2 missable trophies which are annoying because you have to play the game again if you miss them. There is a strange counting error with the mini-games and side missions. Once you do them all and you can't find any more, just start a new game and play a random one and the trophy will pop. It worked for me both times. The races in this game are actually no joke. I nearly gave up when I had to race a fly. You can also fight wasps in this game, and if you're a hater of wasps like me, it is pretty satisfying. If you like simulators, you'll have fun. If you don't usually play simulators, why not start with a fun bee one? The 9th game on my list is Concept Destruction. There is a trophy guide for this game on PSN profiles. It's a 1 out of 10 difficulty with an estimated time of 1 hour, which is pretty accurate because I've platinumed this game 4 times and it's ranged from 45 minutes to an hour. There's PS4 and PS5 versions of this game, which you get with one purchase, which is the way it should always be in my opinion. The PS4 version has a rarity of 92.71% and the PS5 version is 91.24%. with the game having nearly 6,000 owners on PSNP. Now, anything with a rarity in the 90s would be considered shovelware or at least a grub. Usually, I wouldn't include a game this short, but I just feel like it was such a cool idea. I'm really hoping the studio that made this can take the idea and make a game with more content in the future. You are a little cardboard car and you're basically in a deathmatch. It is a similar idea to Wreckfest, but more cartoony and miniaturized. I will say I'm a fan of things where you play as something small in a bigger world, so that's originally what made me want to play. It's not a long game, but it is pretty fun and worth having a go at. The 10th and last game on my list is Beyond Blue. Now, when I was younger, I played Endless Ocean for hours and hours. It was one of my favorite games of all time, and any game where you can explore the ocean, I'm interested in. I have not played Subnautica yet because there are some freaky looking creatures in that one. Anyway, there is a trophy guide for this game on PSN profiles, and it's a 1 out of 10 difficulty with an estimated time of 4 hours. This is pretty accurate because it took me just over 4 hours to get the platinum. The game is classed as an adventure and a simulator. Yes, I know, another simulator. I'm sorry, I just like simulators. The platinum rarity is 53.66%, and there are nearly 2,000 owners on PSNP. The trophies are pretty straightforward in this game, and nothing is missable. There is a story that you follow, but you can go back to the areas once you finish the game. The game is about whales, however, the star of the show for me is always going to be the whale sharks. Any opportunity to swim with and look at whale sharks I will take because they are my favorite animal. I know you're probably thinking, where is her air tank? Well, I haven't worked that one out, but maybe she has gills or something. Other than the oxygen tank mystery, it's a pretty cool game, and if you have played Endless Ocean, you will like this one. That's my list of easy platinum suggestions. Before I end the video, I want to say that these are easy and relatively short games for the most part. Personally, I liked all of the games in this video. They probably wouldn't win any prizes for Game of the Year. Some may even call them shovelware or grubs. Either way, they are just suggestions after getting the platinum myself. Even if none of these games interest you, please keep in mind that this community does not have a set path. on how to get platinums. If you think something looks fun, play it. If you're worried someone will judge you for playing certain games, who cares? Just play it. Your profile is your own journey, so do whatever you like. I personally have no time for elitism or people being snobs. You don't need to complete 10 out of 10 difficulty games for your profile to impress people on the internet you'll never meet. Make your profile impressive for yourself. Just wanted to put that out there. Do what you want and have fun. I hope at least one of these games you find interesting enough to play. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.